Welcome back to Beyond the Plan, where we go deeper than Gantt charts and deadlines, uncovering what really drives successful projects delivery.
We are losing 109 million per billion that we are investing on a project. 64% of the projects are failing to achieve their goals. But the question is, what is the root cause of the problem?
Today's guest, Tamira, often called Queen of PMO. She is the founder of a PMO solution and the Asia Pacific lead for the PMO Global Alliance. She knows what it takes to bridge the gap between business strategy and project execution.
The PMO is a specific profession, is not the one that is only being a supporter of the delivery function.
In this episode, we explore a critical topic: how negotiation doesn't end when the contract is signed. Amireh reveals why integration gaps, a lack of transparency, and a weak trust can cost organizations millions, and how PMO can act as the enabler that keeps business wheels turning smoothly.
If that PMO is not able to think strategically and connecting to the business strategy, that PMO is out of date.
If you ever wonder why more than 60% of the projects fail to meet their goal, or how to finally prove the real value your projects deliver, this conversation is for you. Stick around, because Amireh is going to change the way you think about the contracts, delivery, and the role of a PMO. Good morning, Amireh. It's great to have you as a part of our new episode series, Beyond the Plan. And we have got a great topic to talk about today. But before we dive into that, I've known you for many, many years now. And as far as I remember, you have been all busy with the PMO and the PMO stuff. But today you have chosen to talk about negotiation to delivery. Before we dive into that, tell us a bit more. Who is Amireh, Queen of PMO? I'm hearing somehow. Tell us more about yourself and what makes you busy these days.
Thanks, Ali, for invitation and having me today. I am at the first heart, I'm a wife and a mom to a toughest PMO I've ever set up and managed, and I'm actually operating within that scope. We know each other for a long time, living in Sydney, and I'm a CEO and a founder of PMO Solutions and PMOs, and also the PMO Global Alliance Asia Pacific Hub lead, which we are taking care of the PMO community within the Asia Pacific. The thing is, I found myself in PMO space when I started working in oil and energy portfolios, coming into it as a hardware engineer, as a computer engineer, as a person who had a very techie brain, and delve into the project management and project control world. But I love PMO because, first of all, it's evolution. It moves. It's very dynamic. It's very different. It's not theoretical. It's not prescribed, and it's very people oriented. And this is something and a science that it's not only within the project or a business, it's something that you're using it at home as well. So letting you know, my 5 years old has a Kanban board. So she plans and she knows what she's doing. And she has a strategy in place. This is, I think it's beyond the project board. It's all about how we are getting ourselves organized and logical. Yeah.
Great. Oh, that's really good to hear. You have got everything like on a business side and reflecting in, what happened at the house as well. And now I'm thinking, the 5-year-old Jasmine should really be under your very regimental training, I would say, which is really good. All right. Maybe we should have an episode with her as well. Oh, is she? Okay.
Very good negotiator. And that's why we delve into this topic.
I'm thinking probably maybe we bring her to the show once upon later down the track. Not these days, but later down the track. Oh my God, that would be interesting to have the mom and daughter on the show both. that'll be a plus. Okay, so negotiation to delivery. This is the topic that I've chosen to talk about it today. Tell us a bit more. Why is it important, and why you have chosen this topic to talk about?
Ali, I got invited to speak in the World Summit for contract and commercial, and it was very interesting for me that they were thinking outside of the box, and they were inviting someone that is not living and breathing in their own world. And one of the things that was mainly faced and raised was we really don't know what is happening after the contract is signed, or the team is not able to negotiate and talk about the value that they delivered during the life of the project and after the contract is signed. And one of the things that I learned in that summit was this is across everybody, all the businesses, that we can see that there are a lot of gaps between what the function is doing and where the business is going. There is a lack of transparency, and it means that they are not talking the same language. So every function is now diving and delving into their own island. They are doing a great job on what they are doing. But when it comes to the point that those wheels in the business are getting connected to each other, we see that there is no transparency. Or in the other side, I can say they are not talking the same language. So I was looking at it and thinking of when you are thinking outside of the box, when you're stepping up and looking at it from the business perspective, there is always a lack of that enabler function, the lack of that oil between the wheels of the business, which is very important to have, not only set up those wheels very well, but also have a glue or oil between those wheels that it can create that system working. One of the biggest, a huge gap we see in a delivery is we see that the contract is not a live document. Or in the other side, we say the business case is not the live document, right? And then commercial and the contract doing all of the effort, getting the wins and going with lots of saving and lots of strategy for bringing the contract to life. And then delivery is picking it up, putting a lot of effort, invest a lot of resources and money on delivering that specific initiative. But when we are looking at it, we see that the net zero project success score is 36.
Oh.
So it seems that it is really worth for us to go and invest effort and money on delivering that project. So it gets to the point that we see in major project, lots of claims are coming, lots of disputes are coming out. The people that are going and sitting on the dispute on the claim table are not the people that are live and breathe in the business in a project, and they are not able to negotiate the value. They are negotiating the how much money has to spend, how much time we put on a project. So I am here today to bring another perspective, kind of thinking outside of the box. I'm inviting everybody to think again and then finding out, okay, so all of these functions are working very well. We have all of our processes and procedures in place. We even have our own PMO that is helping us to deliver our projects. But come with me, be with me. I want to find out, are you really connected to the core of your business? Are you guys all talking all the same language? And how this is happening, how you can keep this momentum consistent within the business.
Amazing. So there are three areas that you're going to talk about them today. I see integration gap, trust and transparency, and basically enabling function Which one you wanted to talk about first and why?
I would like to start from the integration gap.
Sure.
Because I can see that when we have the missing point in our connections, the finance is believing that the savings are locked, but delivery never realized that saving. And then the teams are feeling disconnected. The KPIs are just defined within that specific function around what they are doing, around what they are delivering. At the end of the day, at the end of the story, there is a loss for a business, and we can see that we, based on the stat, we are seeing that we are losing 109 million per billion that we are investing on a project, or we can see that there is a rate of the project failure for 44%, or we can see that 64% of the projects are failing to achieve their goals. Do you want me to?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So
these are important numbers. I mean,
yeah,
109 mil per billion, it would be close to like 11% of the project.
Failure is not a very good number that we see in terms of projects failing on achieving what they had, the value that they were going to deliver. Or we can see that 64 projects are actually not getting, not achieving their goals. And as I mentioned, that per 1 billion that we are investing, we are losing 109 million. These disconnections are not really pleasant for the business, right? Because having such a disaster in the business and then not achieving what we are supposed to achieve is not good. But the question is, what is the problem? What is the root cause of the problem? Is it sitting in a delivery side, or is it sitting when we were setting up the contract, or is it sitting when we are moving forward and delivering the project? When we are talking about the integration, we are now talking about from the top of the business ladder. We know that one of the main important part of delivering the project is the project being aligned with the business strategic objectives. But I want to take you outside of the project life and then say, like, before a contract or initiative is turning into a project, that contract must be aligned with the business objectives. That conversation, the bid that they put in together, must be aligned with the business objectives. We definitely want to be a business that is sitting in every single tender coming out, right? So if we do not have our objective key results, none of the things that we are doing from the top down are going to be aligned with each other. So it's very important to know that we have the business OKRs defined and communicated with the business. And then after that, we have those OKRs converted into the team KPIs. And when I'm talking about that, it means that we are not talking about the individuals or the specific project key performance indicator. We are talking about the team that is taking care of an initiative. Like, it can be the finance team, or it can be like a delivery team. So all of them have the KPIs that are connected to the business OKR. Those KPIs are then connected to all the deliverables or the projects that we are defining to deliver. And then this is a time that we are realizing the benefit. I don't like that.
Sure. For our younger audience, could you please open up a little bit about that they do not necessarily know about, like these acronyms, OKR, KPIs, just a little bit more in detail about what they are, what these abbreviations are all about?
Yeah, OKR is mainly like the easiest way we can say it is the business objective, is the strategic goal and the key result that they are defined at the organizational level. Making it super simple is like, as a family, we want to buy a house in 2 years. So that's the OKR. And then we are getting into the KPIs, which we call it the key performance indicators. They are very specific. They should, all the goals must be SMART. So specific, measurable target for the teams and align with overall objectives. So if we are buying a house within 2 years, what is a KPI in terms of going for a grocery shopping? Maybe we need to switch to like a market, or like, that the strategy that you're putting together, and then say like for 3 months we are saving on seafood. For example, for that amount of money. And then it gets into the initiatives or the key deliverables, which are about outputs. Maybe it's better to outputs that you are after. That is like what are those milestones? What are those outputs that you are looking at to deliver? So, for example, saying we want to save money by buying less seafood. So we are now going to the fish market and we are focusing, on them.
And buying a house, it was in Sydney in 2 years' time. Is it achievable? Or? That's another conversation. I know that, but
yeah, feel free to dream. It doesn't cost.
No problem.
And the benefit of that is gonna be like, we're gonna have a house in Sydney, but just eating prawns for 3 months.
Sounds like a plan.
So kind of like an example in a business world, we can say like the OKR of the business is like the business wants to reduce the operational cost by, let's say, 10%.
Sure.
So the team KPI is going to be having a 15% faster procurement cycle. And for that, they need to have a new contract management system in place. And then the benefit of that is saving like 1 million per year, and then shortening the process for like from 3 days to 2 days. But one of the things that is very important here is that business case or the contract that is creating the cycle is sitting in the middle. So one of the main outcomes of feeling that integration gap is to keep the contract live, keep the business case live. And then we see that in so many projects that we are talking about it. But God knows how many people are actually in operation. They are going through their business case and then evolving the business case while the project is moving forward. And they are not doing that just in isolation. They are doing that with including other teams like a finance and commercial and contract including.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So when you talk about having the business case or contract live, do you mean that like the delivery team are aware of that, or the document itself or the content is locked? Because when we sign a contract, it's locked. We cannot do that much change about it. But I guess what you're trying to articulate here is that that contract, that sign is not just sitting in a shelf and delivery team is not aware of that. Is it what you're talking about? Or
when I'm talking about that contract is live, it means that all the terms and all the obligation in the contract is now embedded in the way of working.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
Not only the process, but also in the way we are working. So if the contract saying you have only 10 days to get road occupy certificate. So that is sitting within the schedule of the project. That is sitting within the your cost breakdown structure, that how much it's costing. And then all of them are embedded together. So when we are talking about keeping the contract live, means that that contract document is sitting at the table of all the project delivery team, the delivery manager, all the sponsors, and the contract is sitting on the table when they are going to the governance committee, and all of the decision making are there. I remember for Downer DM Roads, the city maintenance contract that we were working, I had a printed version of the contract on my desk, and everything that we were doing, we were highlighting the terms of the contract and bringing it into the life of the contract.
It's like a Bible, you have got it, and
Absolutely.
then you rely on it. So it's not like a document that once upon a time it's signed, it's put in a shelf, it's forgotten, because that's exactly what we're going to deliver, isn't it? So we should read it, we should read it, we should know exactly where it's coming from and what we basically are delivering, isn't it? That's why you are referring to it as a live document, and it's in a day in, day out of the project delivery. The delivery guys are basically on top of it, isn't it?
Yeah. And then the thing is, in one side, the delivery people are focusing on delivering those outputs. And the other side, the commercial is focusing on delivering the contract terms. But the commercial is not aware of the effort that is going to delivering the project. They are not aware of the challenges that the project team are dealing with. Yeah. On the other side, the delivery team is not aware of what challenges the commercial and the finance team are actually going through. So then it gets to the point that they sit in a meeting and they're coming out of the meeting and say, he doesn't just get it. It's this is the thing that when we are all talking the same language, and when it is a transparency in place, then we can see that everybody is talking the same language. Everybody is saying hey, commercial, for because of this lack that we had, because we didn't forecast the weather is going to be like this that we had last week with the rain. So that is going to delay us for 20 days. That is impacting that term that you're talking with the client. So when they are negotiating, when they are getting at the table to explain why the project hasn't been delivered, they are not saying it's the fault of project manager. They are all aware of the challenges that the project manager is dealing with. That's very important to have that integration within the business, which mainly starting from the executive team, to have a very clear definition of the OKRs. Ali, you know that I've been the chair of the Global Project Management Forum in 2025. And then I had a privilege of speaking in that forum as well. When I was in Saudi, one of the things that has really impressed me is from the prince to the camel man in the desert, they know what are the vision of Saudi Arabia. They all talk about the Vision 2030. And that all the objectives are explained so simple, so straightforward to the people. So every single person living within that land understand that the Saudi wants to get independent from the oil money by 2030. That shows that how well the objectives are defined and how well people are connected to it, and they have it in their heart. They see the benefit of those objectives into their own life. So this is showing that our leaders and executives needs to be so clear about the objectives, about the strategic objectives of the business, having a very clear objective key result, and communicate all the time. So when we have that, then all the teams, that is going to create that glue between the teams. So they started to setting their purpose and their objectives based on those business objectives, and it built
Absolutely.
flow down. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, look, the example that you mentioned is really, really fantastic when you're thinking about like Saudi as a nation and how from the top, from MBS to the camelman, everybody knows where they're going, what they're doing. Every day that everybody goes to work, they know, hey, what we're running toward, and each and everybody's contribution is going to do what in realization of like that 2030 dream. It's interesting that we wanted to go into one of the like a scope of works for NEOM, and as a part of a selection process was that how well do you understand the Saudi 2030? So even the people or the companies or the partners that they're going to work with them, they have to understand that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be a good fit
No.
for the delivery and the bigger picture of where Saudi is traveling, which is really
in
outstanding.
any conversation that you are having, there is no way that you're not hearing Vision 2030. No way. Like I'm talking with Saudi women and entrepreneurs. They are all saying, oh, this is the reason that we are doing that. It's because of the Vision 2030. I'm talking with the young people there, and they say like, oh, we know what's going to happen if we be independent with the oil. That is going to happen to my life, that, this and that. And then that was what I was thinking about it and say like, how many of us have a clear view and understanding of what are the business OKRs? And all of those performance management and performance monitoring and everything that we have, are they aligned with those OKRs? How much we are impacting it? Or it's also like, this is a very huge gap between these two. So I guarantee if you start feeling that gap, the rest will come through. Yeah. We are talking about benefit realization in a project, benefit management process in a project, but where those benefits are coming from, right? What is the DNA of those benefits? If those benefits are not aligned with where the business wants to get to, do we really call them benefit?
No, absolutely not.
So then having that gaps, feeling that gaps, first of all, identifying it and then feeling that gaps is not only one side of the equation. The other side of the equation is creating that trust and transparency. We all know that creating a trust is changing from century to century. Yeah. If you talk to my parents, they wouldn't never ever thought that they're gonna be a time that people are happy to go to a stranger house and stay there, right? Yeah. So, or getting a ride from a stranger with a stranger car. So these are all the different shape of the trust that we see within our life. So if we understand that how we are creating that trust and transparency within the business is very important. This is actually based on the language that we are setting up within the business. It's very interesting to know that 11% of the investment is wasted because of the poor forecasting. And when we are saying that is like the poor forecasting is coming from we are not talking to each other. We are only looking at it from our own perspective and going with the assumption. On the other side, we can see that 71% of the project are actually under budget. Over budget and over time, delivering over time. But do we call this as a failure for a project? Do we call a project that has is over budget and over time is a failed project? Can we say that? if we say yes to this, how about the Harbour Bridge project, right?
Oh, yeah.
Harbour Bridge project is
initial
way
budget,
above time and money.
Yeah.
But do we call it a failed project?
I guess at the point of at the time of delivery, there was a lot of debate about that. Was it even worth the money really to spend all this taxpayers' money on the project? But time really has told and has proven that it has become like icon. So everybody wants to come to Australia. It really talks about it, and one of the favorable destinations. So at the point of a delivery, have gone way above the initial timeline. I'm sure at that point of time, there were some schedulers, doing the schedule of that project at that point of time. Surely not with Primavera or MSP at that point of time, with Excel or even something simpler. And they were so nervous about how, slippage this project is going to have. And also on the other side, the people who were doing like the dollar side of things and keeping the tab that how much is spent on this project, they were both nervous about the time side of things and the cost side of things. But hey, here we are. What was the outcome and what was delivered? It's marvelous and it's really outstanding. So if we go back in time and ask the question again, are we going to do it again? 100%, isn't it?
So exactly. So we are looking at that, like that example of the value that this project deliver, right? So yes, we can say in terms of the numbers of the numbers of time and cost, the project was a failure. Absolutely was a failure. But what we are looking at it now of the impact and the outcomes that project has to the nation, we can say the value of that project really worth it to go ahead, right? So this is exactly the place that I would like to bring the attention of people of when you want to talk, when you want to create a trust and a transparency, the first step of that is to have that common language, right? And that common language has like exactly the same as any other language is sitting is based on the specific rules and the grammar sitting around it. The basis of the common language in the business must be the value. And we see that most of us are challenging to communicate and demonstrate the value of what we are delivering. Saying that, like 64% of the PMOs are challenged of demonstrating the values that they are delivering to the business. And that is coming because there is no integration between the OKRs and the KPIs and the outcome and the benefit that they are delivering in the business. And also there is no exercise of recognizing the value that they are delivering. But for being successful in negotiation and for being successful in delivery, I would like to bring an attention of the people around the earned value. You know about earned value, don't you?
Somehow.
Is it dead?
No, it's still very well alive and thriving. Depends on what level are we talking about? Are we talking about the end value, like on a project level? I understand. Yeah, you have got some different ideas about it. So let's dive in.
So that's the thing. Like we all know, specifically with our expertise in Primavera and then all the scheduling tool, we know how to calculate the end value. We know the benefit of the end value is to how to forecast and then also to mitigate the risk of that 11% of the waste because of the bad forecast. We know the main base of the calculating the earned value is that estimate or the estimation that the baseline that we put together at the beginning. What I want to bring into the attention is not only looking at the project, not only looking at the end value of the project that the project is delivering, but also looking at the BAU works that we are delivering to keep the business going. So I would like to invite you to think about it that in terms as a term of the team earned value, which is the combination of the project and BAU works and value.
Talking about the typical CPI and SPI, cost performance index, and a schedule performance index, which is measured on a project level, but we are adding another layer of basically business into it, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. So what we are talking about is the earned value at the team level, because we know whoever is working in a project or whoever is working in our function, a percentage of his effort is going to the project and a percentage of that person's effort is going to BAU. In some cases, it is 0-100% or 0-100%, but normally we can see that the effort is distributed between these two initiatives. What we normally forget is this BAU, right? If the person is not assigned to the project and sitting on the bench, we just do not see that there is any value delivery of that person because that person is busy with the BAUs, right? So that BAU is the one that is keeping your business going anyway. Can you not having it? No, you cannot. But how do you talk about the value of that BAU is delivering? So the bone of the BAU for the BAU value is the SLA or a service level agreement that you have with your business. So if you have the OKR set up in a right way, so the KPIs for the team is defined and it's covering not only delivering a project, but also delivering the BAU tasks and the action. So each BAU task must have the service level agreement, which you can calculate the BAU and value based on the progress of your SLA or based on the progress of the operational objective. So you remember that we can calculate the end value based on the activity percentage complete, or you can calculate the end value based on the WBS milestones, right? So that's the same concept for the BAU works as well. So how much your SLA is progress and how much objectives of the BAU you have achieved. On the other side, it's very important to understand that what is that portion between the work that your team is busy with. So in portfolio management, we are not only looking at the investment that we have done on the project, we are also looking at the investment of that portfolio or the cost of the portfolio that is the BAU is looking at it. And that is a hidden piece of the puzzle. Right? Mainly project people are looking only at the project and then how the project is moving forward. So it's very important, first of all, to know what is your effort allocation, understanding that what is the pattern within your team, that how many hours and what's the percentage between or distribution between the project and the BAU, and also being aware of how to define and design the planned value. Right? And then that planned value is coming from that trust and transparency in learning the lessons, in seeing the pattern, in seeing how we are dealing with the other project, similar project. And that is a place that you can now use the advantage of the new technology to find out those patterns. But there are a lot of steps that you need to do it before to get to that point.
Absolutely. What about the new technologies? Let's have a little bit touch on that as well. Since we're here, it could be a separate episode for itself. I know that, but let's have a little bit touch on that as well and see.
You know, I love technology, right?
Definitely, you do.
What technology? What do you mean of? how it can help.
I think we could, start with the technology itself that like helps in here, and also it would be like linked as an enabler as well, isn't it? So,
yeah. When we are talking about a business, I don't know if you read 21 Lesson for 21st Century book. One of the things in it is saying data is a power.
Sure.
And it's very interesting that to see Bill Gates has a comment on that book and saying, no, data is not the power anymore. Mm-hmm. The way that you're using the data is the power.
Sure.
In all of my classes, I always talk about the differences between the data, information, and the story. So no matter how much data you have, it's about what a story you can tell with that data. So the technology that we already have is a very good enabler and a very good supporter to look at the pattern and also help us to predict, to bring different prediction model. Mm-hmm. But before getting to that is about the data management. It's about the feature engineering to make sure that your data is relevant. Your data is, I don't want to say clean, but mainly to say you're not, if you put a beast of data in front of the AI is going to talk the same, cans of worm. So the new technology can help. Yes, absolutely can help. But are you going away with just the technology doing it? No, because you, at the end of the day, the tick of this is a good, that tick is coming from the human. So a human is the one that is ticking the box, even though AI is looking at it. But yeah, AI can help a lot here to help the business to first of all have a better baseline, because all the baseline is all the end value calculation is coming based on where we had to be, based on what we planned, and also helping us to communicate that value in a consistent and a transparent way. I know it's a lot. I know whoever is looking at it and saying like, oh my God, I'm from finance, I had a lot to do. I'm from delivery, I had a lot to do. I am from commercial, I have a lot to do. But imagine that this gap is filled. So it means that the finance is not only seeing the cost, but also seeing the value that is delivered. So it's not standing on top of your neck as a project manager to say like, what is the profit margin of this project? Mm-hmm. Tell me what is, why your actual is too much. Tell me why this supplier is getting that amount of money. So the language is going to change, talking about what that specific project is delivering, and are we aligned with it? Are we still talking about it worth it to go? Mm-hmm. The commercial tracks negotiated savings through the actual realization. So the commercial is transparent of what is happening within the business. The commercial understand that your resources are not only looking at the project, and also the delivery understand how their effort is connected to the financial outcome. So that's what builds trust. It means finance, commercial, and delivery all see the same story and where time and money are going and what they are earning in return. So it is bringing a lot of, it's actually minimizing a lot of frustration, and also helping the negotiation to be fact-based and data-driven based rather than just talking for a gray box.
Yeah.
So the path to getting that awareness is first closing that gap, defining a very clear OKRs, the KPIs, getting connected to the OKRs, and then connecting those projects to the team KPIs that are moving forward, creating that common language. It was actually I had one lady raised a question, why you're not talking about the return on investment?
All right.
We are calculating return on investment anyway, don't we? So,
we do indeed.
Of course, I can talk about the return on investment, and it's actually a very another common language factor that we can talk about it to bring it in. I only looked at one lens as the value only, but is it enough, or is it serve the purpose? Not really. So if you want to create that big picture transparency, that big picture transparency includes the value that you're delivering, includes the return on investment, includes the benefit that needs to be realized, not only from the contract or not only from the project that is delivered, but also from the big picture in the business. So the third thing that needs to be done is to have that enabler function. And what is the job of this enabler function is transform negotiation into a guaranteed return through seamless integration and having a very good guardianship, making sure that the decisions are made based on the common language and the values. The outcomes are achieved based on the business objective. So this is actually the one that is holding all the elements together. In terms of the numbers, we can see that 60% of the organization delivering better result when they have that enabling function. And also there is a 64% of the organization having a better alignment between the delivery and the strategy. A strategy. So what does that mean is so when you have this enabler function in place, there is no silos, there is no hidden gaps, there is no lost piece of puzzle. And also it is going to create the trust because people understand that if something happens, where to go. If there is a question, where to go. They are not tapping off each other's shoulders without knowing, without understanding that what is the word of the other function in the business. What do you think?
No, we're going and progressing very well. And the last piece that basically brings everything together and gels everything, I'm just waiting for that.
The gel, the oil between the wheels. So, the thing is, not only delivery can do that, not only finance can do that, not only commercial can do that, right? This is the connection. This is actually not sitting within any of the elements that we are delivering the contract or we are delivering the project. It is sitting in the middle. And if you're asking me who in the business should do that, my answer to you is your enabler function must be the PMO.
Oh, here we go.
Yes, there's a lot of conversation that the PMO is sitting under the delivery and is only looking at how the project is delivering. We heard a lot of stories that, if I have a PMO, why should I have a project control? Or if I have a project control, why should I have a PMO? But when we are looking at it, when we are stepping up and looking at it, the life of the project, within a life of a business, and an understanding that there should be some clarification of how much of our effort is going to the project and how much of our effort is going to the BAU. Exactly. And even defining what a project is, what the BAU is. Creating that momentum to bringing that transparency and data-driven decision-making, and also making sure that in all of the conversation we are talking about a business OKR, this is a job of the PMO. The job of your PMO is not to be the administrator of the project, or is not. Yeah. So the function is not just an administrative function, not just reporting, but the integrator and the guardian of financial awareness, commercial awareness, and delivery awareness within the organization. So when your PMO steps into this role, your organization won't just look at the table. They deliver value all the way through to your business outcome. So you are creating that common language. You are connecting that common language and to the business objectives. And not only the contract is live, but also the business objectives are live moving through. So that's why in all of my conversation, in all of my roles, even the main goal of the PMO Global Alliance is to present and educate the market that the PMO is a specific profession, is not the one that is only being a supporter of the delivery function. And being a good PMO is not the person who knows project management. Yes, the career path is going through that because we absolutely need to understand what is happening in the delivery side. But having the business acumen and understanding what are the elements of the business is the main skill set of the PMOs, to be able to lead well, to be able to educate well, and to be able to support the decision making. Mm-hmm. So we see in excellence in PMO work that they are sitting at the executive level and they are helping having a strategic the seat in the strategy table. They are sitting, they are playing as a role of the integrator, and also they are the guardian of delivering the work.
Of course, yeah. Can we also dive into a little bit more about like the different kind of PMOs? Because PMOs in different organizations doesn't come in a same size or shape, but it's really around what the organization needs and how that enabling role, could be identified. Like I've heard about like executive PMOs, supportive PMOs, but you're the expert. I'll leave it to you to explain.
To be honest with you, Ali, this supportive, directive, strategic, all of these are now completely outdated.
Okay.
If there is a PMO and is playing as an integrator and want to create a trust and is not able to support the function that is integrating and creating a trust, that PMO is useless. If that PMO is not able to think strategically and connecting to the business strategy, that PMO is out of date. So in a real world, the core of the PMO is actually a mix of supporting function, strategic function, and a tactical function, right? So I'm not saying that the PMO should not write the report. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is those reports must be not only looking at like a tick the box. Those reports must have the story behind it and also coming from that integration canvas, right? Coming from your trust framework. So that's a job of the PMO. I'm not saying the PMO should not do should not be the administrator. There are different there are different concepts of defining PMO. So we see that in IT projects, they see it in different ways. So in construction, so many people even don't like to hear the word of the PMO. We heard a lot of there are police, all of these things. What I'm saying is the same as other roles, there are good, bad, and uglies, right? So the good ones are the ones that are playing the role of helping the decision making, enabling the decision making, and they are really in a core of the function that they are bringing into a business. They are enabler. They are empowering. They are connecting the dots together, creating that flow. The bad ones are the ones that are like looking at like, oh, okay, everybody can be a PMO. You are now a scheduler, come in and do the PMO. I'm not saying that person cannot do it a good job. What I'm saying is we have to look at it as a function that you're spending and investing on it. So it needs to have that return on that investment. And a return on investment on a PMO is not making money for the business. It's actually saving money. It's actually mitigating the loss of risk. So I told you, like, based on the PMO score, the stat on 2024, 64% of the PMOs are challenging of demonstrating their values. So that is very, very, like, you need to think about it, at why the PMOs are not able to communicate their values. Is because whoever is a PMO, because the business is not supporting them, because the business doesn't have any understanding what a PMO really is and what to expect from that function. So you are talking to you're a business owner, I am a business owner. We know what to expect from our marketing. We know what to expect from the sales. But my question for the executive is, do you know what to expect from your PMO? Or you just have a side?
Yeah, as a nice to have box that you want to just put somebody in there and then set and forget, which is not exactly that. It's much more different now.
But I want to add on thing.
Yeah, sure.
I put a poll in LinkedIn and I asked my network that if I come and tell you that I have a coach and a personal trainer, what do you think about me? And I had the answers of, she's rich, she's smart, she has a lot of time, she's living a luxury life, and then so on. But it was very interesting that I got the answer. The majority was saying she's smart. She doesn't want to make the mistakes twice and repeating the mistake. She doesn't want to experience everything. Try and error, exactly. So on the other side, we're hearing a lot that the PMOs are a luxury function for the business, right? Look, a good PMO is a good coach, is a good personal trainer for the business to connect those the gaps and create that trust and transparency, bring that common language into the business, and enabling the movement and the dynamic in the business. So the smart business definitely has a PMO to have a 60% of the success rate.
Absolutely. Yeah, surely it's not a nice to have. Yeah, once upon a time it was. Not these days really, but how it's defined and how it's executed, even the people that are sitting in those boxes and are managing it really brings a lot of value to the business. Here comes a question that, imagine I'm an organization that I'm running some projects, I've got some operation and BAUs, etc., and I had no PMO before, all right? And now I'm deciding that, okay, everybody has a PMO, we should have a PMO as well. Okay, it's normally how it happens, isn't it? So what would be your recommendation about how do they go about it? What's 1, 2, 3 about establishing a PMO, how they can do that?
That's actually a very good question. The thing is understanding. So we discussed about the gaps, right?
Yeah.
We discussed about the trust, and we talk about that the evolution, right? So we see that the humankind is evolving, right? Yeah. We are from a generation, and you're not supposed to calculate my age, by the way, but we are from the age that we grow up when there were no mobile phone, there were no internet, and then the internet came in, and then the mobile phone came in, then the iPhone came in, and then lots of evolution is happening, right? When we are talking about the always between the wheels, you see that it is how liquid it is how dynamic it is. The DNA of the PMO must be the customers who that PMO is serving the service, right? So there are lots of aspects of setting up the PMO, establishing a PMO. One aspect is like we saw that a lot, a fit for purpose. We come and buy a PMO framework, come and buy a templates, come and buy this and that. Oh, the PMO must have training, must have project management framework, must have reporting. What we are trying to bring into the surface through the exercise or through the value ring, the PMO value ring, is we are looking at the customer as a center of heart of the PMO, and we are designing the PMO's services and the function based on the expectation of the customer. So the job of that PMO is to create that balance between the expectation of the customer and the reality that is happening in the business. So this is a skill to be able to create that balance, right? To understand, okay, to keep the business going and then keep it happy is to balance those expectations of the business to the reality that the business have. Like, I have an expectation to have a personal jet, my friend, but I don't have money, right? So what should I do? I should win a lottery, right, to increase the reality, or bring my expectation down to say like, oh, okay, so Lego is enough. But like, so that's a job of the PMO. So if your friend wants to establish a PMO, first of all, give my number to that person. But like,
I will.
that person needs to start to first of all thinking of like, what expectation is from that function, having those expectations in place. We see that a lot of PMOs are getting to the point of like, they are acting like a firefighter. They are just serving the tickets without thinking that they must have the specific functions, a specific service model to define those KPIs. And then we go back again that even the existence of that PMO must be aligned with where we want to get to. Do we want to be smart and not do the try and error, have a coach and a personal trainer beside us to achieve our goal, or you just want to go ahead with whatever? So if you want to achieve your goals and you have a very good target around it, you must have a PMO. If not, so enjoy the journey.
No, it was great, Amireh. It was really good. And I would like also to wrap up our great conversation. Do you have any like a very good book recommendation that you would have for our audience today?
Yes, absolutely.
What is that?
I am currently reading Surrounded by Idiots.
Right. Good one.
I don't remember the right.
No, that's fine. That's we definitely will include that like in our links, and that's a great recommendation. Have you sort of just started that or finished that up?
No, I'm actually in the middle. What is it talking about? Actually learned that it's about the communication.
Right.
I got this from my beautiful coach, my business coach. I'm having her for a long time from Gaia Coaching. So the book is talking about how you have to communicate with different type of people. It's actually very interesting. I do recommend to everybody to read it, because at the end of the day, we need to learn the language and then how we are talking. So definitely the way I'm talking to my husband is not the way that I'm talking to Jasmine, right? So that gives you a good understanding of the communication. The other book that I read recently was The Diary of the CEO. Yes, that one is very good. And I have another one as well. The Surrender Experiment and The Advantage. The Surrender Experiment is actually helping you to let it go.
How can we? No, we should. Okay.
And The Advantage is actually a very good book. I got it from one of my friends, the CEO of Mogo an engineering firm for traffic management. So we both started reading that book together. It's actually a very good book from Patrick Lencioni, which is all about the structure of the business and how to manage the teams and how to create those OKRs and the KPIs and the deliverables here.
Awesome. Great. Thank you very much for the recommendation. And I'm sure our audience will enjoy reading those books and thinking about, okay, it is a really great content and learning more. Why not? Amireh, it was really great to have you here today. And we talked about a lot of good stuff and a lot of learning, in particular about the PMO and how PMO could gel all this together, bring transparency, bring the integration, and act as an enabler in the business and bring all these components together. Thank you very much for accepting our invite and coming here today. Thank you.
It was a pleasure, and I really enjoyed the conversation. Thank you.
Cheers.